welcome to Whips in the Dungeon. We're going to revisit handholds today. I just did a series on Flogger handholds, and I left a handhold out on purpose because it crosses over into the way that we throw a whip. And there's some varying opinions on whether you should hold a flogger that way or not. And I'll give you my cut on it. But let's go to a whip first. This is a signal whip. But whether you're throwing a signal, a snake, or a bullwhip, the pommel, sometimes called a heel knot, the type of knot it is a Turk's head. So any of those terms I use interchangeably, but the heel knot fits into the palm of your hand and kind of forms a ball and socket, okay, that allows me good rotation of my hand in the palm as I'm throwing my whip, regardless of what style or technique I'm using to throw my whip. That handhold starts with the ball into the palm, forming a ball and socket, regardless of the grips that I'm using, okay? Well, when I taught flogger handholds, I typically took a handshake hold as a starting point. And we showed a finger push, we showed a thumb push, we even showed that you could throw it using a two-finger or finger flogger style grip, whether you grip it that way or whether you grip it more like the Star Trek Spock's grip, okay? But what I didn't show was this whip grip that puts the heel knot into the palm of the hand. So what happens when you use what I'm going to call a whip thrower's grip, where you put the heel knot into the palm of the hand, okay? Well, what that does with a flogger is most well-made floggers are balanced behind the pineapple knot, okay? So the most efficient way to throw that flogger is gripping it on the balance point and using that balance point as the pivot point so that it puts less stress on your arm and your shoulder when you throw it. I have a torn long bicep and a torn rotator cuff, so I'm a little more conscious of wear and tear on my arm. Most of the time when I throw a flogger, I grab it at the balance point. But what happens when you grab a flogger with a whip thrower's grip and you grab it like you're forming that ball and socket in the palm of your hand? Well, one advantage of that grip is it then turns this flogger into the same physics that a bullwhip has. You have a stiff handle that's adding leverage to the tails when they're thrown. So I would contend from a physics standpoint, I can throw a flogger with a whip thrower's grip with more intensity, more impact, harder. I can throw that harder with a whip thrower's grip than I can if I'm grasping it at the balance point. So there's some trade-offs with these grips. I wanted you to be aware of that grip. We can grasp a flogger like we're grasping a singletail, and we can throw it that way. And I would contend it gives you some leverage advantage, but it's also over time. Now with a lightweight or a medium weight flogger, you're probably not going to see more tiredness in your arm. With a heavy flogger, I'm going to contend that throwing it that way, you're going to see more tiredness in your arm. You're going to have a better workout than if you grasp it at the pivot point or at the balance point and throw it. Just another perspective, another type of handhold. As always, thanks for watching Whips in the Dungeon. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell.